Hello there everybody and welcome back to Finn's Crafting Corner. Today we are taking a look at this video where I show you how I paint my Polymathēs Forgotten. And on the side note, it's sorta also how I paint my Iron Warriors. So first things first, normally I prime my miniatures with the Army Painter's gun metal, but I didn't have that, so for now this Assault Marine that you see here is I'm just gonna use the Vallejo metallic silver to base coat him with my large dry brush from the Citadel, I believe. And really all it is just you start off with the two thin coats. So this is the first coat and I'm giving fairly liberally all over the place, and then you just do it again. Get the second coat up and running. So yeah, a lot of these things that you're gonna be seeing on a video are applied to both my Iron Warriors and the Polymathēs Forgotten, cause reasons. So this is my Space Marines chapter / warband ? I'm still working on the backstory of these guys, so details. This is the last Marine that I currently have up and running. Now that he has received the 2 coats, it is time to dirty him up. And unfortunately my GoPro doesn't like things being too close to the cam, so most of these close-up shots are gonna be nasty. And here we go, we start dirting all the recesses and areas where the dirt would gather with Athrax Earthshade. And all we're really doing is taking a good amount of it on the brush and going around all the recesses and areas, starting from the deepest recesses to deposit most of the shade in there, and then going on all the other recesses and everywhere where the dirt might actually pile up. Nothing special going on here. So just carefully pick areas where you want the more dirty look. This will break up the pure silver a bit, making the character look more interesting in my opinion, or the paint in general, because if you just have the pure colors then it's like it doesn't fit my taste. Right, and skipping a little bit ahead, all of a sudden here you can see how he looks now that the silver has been more dirtied up. Again, terrible close-up, but you can see that there's now more colors on the miniature. And don't worry, if there's any mistakes, you can always come back and later and rectify what you just done. Now moving on to the next step, I'm gonna start painting all the areas that I want to be black. And to do so, luckily this miniature was one of the easy build ones, so I can take him apart to get even closer look, to get into all the areas where I need to, making it slightly easier for me. Normally I paint my miniatures fully built, or to some extent, so normally I don't go into the areas where no man can see or no man can reach, but I do my best. I take them as a challenge to practice myself. So in this case we're going to start with these joints at the behind the knee. We are also going to prepare some other locations for the upcoming chevrons, etc. Like this shoulder pad over here. The clean one is going to be fully black. Then we got this shin that's going to be also black, and we have some chest armor areas wherever that seems. Also I decided to go with the black section for the sword. So they have all the black pieces, and now time for starting to make the hazard straps or chevrons. Normally I use the Regarth flesh for this, but sometimes I also use the ceramite white. So either one of these colors work, and you might be wondering about, hold on, aren't the chevrons that you use yellow? We'll get to that in a minute. So this time for this example I decided to go with the white ones, although normally I go with the other Regarth flesh. And I believe with the white you get more of a bright yellow result, and with the ragged flesh you get kind of an orange tint to it. And yeah, I like to freehand my chevrons to mostly just practice. I see it as a challenge, although I botched up the shoulder one, but you won't be able to see that because I was carving most of the angle. And now we get to making them actually yellow. So like we had the earth shade earlier, this time we take the Cassandra yellow, and oh, I noticed there's a spot there that I didn't, like I said earlier, it's okay to make mistakes and you'll come back later and fix them. So here I noticed that I forgot to fix this white section on the shin, and so I carefully add more black to make the chevron look more decent. And while that is drying, I start with the shoulder, taking the Cassandra yellow wash to the white areas that are supposed to be yellow. And I take only very little amount to the brush so it doesn't go all over the place, and I try to keep it only on the white. And there you have it. After 2 thin coats of the Cassandra yellow, we have both sections. And here I'm actually looking for the sections where I may have accidentally got that yellow on something else that I wasn't supposed to, because I'm about to move on to adding more details. So as you can see, there's some yellow on that shoulder trim and we don't want that. So getting rid of all that sections, and now finally adding the gunmetal blue from Vallejo. The two main colors for this, and this is where the difference with the Polymathēs Forgotten and the Iron Warriors becomes. All you need to do is color swap this into Balthasar Gold or any kind of bronze color thing from yeah, that's how I would paint my Iron Warriors. But yeah, so you only color swap just the that's as simple. That's how close these 2 color schemes go with. You just swap this single color. And now all the sections that I wanted with gunmetal blue have been done so. And next, we're going to start picking up all the other details. Like you can see, he's got this kind of, I presume these are frag or crack grenade pouches kind of thing. And I have a feeling that they are like crack grenades, so I'm painting them this, I'm using the Balthasar Gold to give the bronze that I normally would use for all those blue sections that you see, to give some more color to the miniature overall. And initially I was like, I'm just gonna leave the lid as different color, but then I figured, nah, let's go with the full thing. Also starting to take these pouches that he has, and I forgot the name of this brown, it will be on the screen, but this is a darker brown, and just painting all the pouches he's got with that color. And then also picking up all the other details, such as this, what I have named a plot device. It can be whatever I want for the mission. It's from the what do you call it, the Legion Praevion kit. And here we go. Now that one more detail that I missed was this purity seals, both on his back and the shin, and so I came back to paint these. I used the ragged flesh for the parchment, for the seal itself I used just a red what I had lying around. I also painted the eyes, and here I'm trying to make the text by using a toothpick, but that got too thick for my taste, so I went back and did again on the back side with the brush instead. And because of the terrible quality, you can't really see the difference, but yeah, the one in the front looks dreadful compared to the one in the back. They both look dreadful, but yeah. Now that we have, doing a quick examination, unfortunately the GoPro doesn't like being close, so you can't really see all the details, but doing a last examination that I have got everything right and there's no fixes, we're gonna start washing everything and destroy the model with black. And except when you need to remove the guard around the brush first. Okay, so this is very simple. We take a whole brush full of null oil. not the glossy one, just a regular null oil. I go just ham on the model and keep also poking on the boom with the camera with my brush all the time. So you can't really see it here, but I'm going with the massive amounts of that null oil. And what I like to do is instead of sipping it directly from the bottle, I just put it there on the top, and just all the excessive ones go in there. And here you can see some of that, how much I actually put it in, just very briefly. Most of the time I was covering the camera, unfortunately. I'm still working on this, but there you go. Now the model is fully null oiled, and keep an eye out for spots where, you know, it has been pooling too much. And now we get to see how it looks more or less once all the details have been added. And now for the final part is adding some mud to that base boy that I like to do with all of my models, because yeah, I'm a simple man. I don't need flashy bases unless they are flashy models that come with the flashy bases, such as my Warsmith. So giving a good chunk of mud, and also remembering to give it to the foot, because, you know, yeah, can't have all that goody without you can't be in a muddy ground without getting mud all over the place. And now you just let him sit and wait there, drying up before being complete. Yeah. And then it has been like a 1 hour, and yeah, the base is still wet. This is the more dreadful part, but you know, I don't have such a patience. So now for the final part, which is drumroll, please. Everyone's favorite section.
Attack! Yeah. Brothers, remove that. Target acknowledged. Brothers, your duty is not done. Stand with your brothers! Brother! Stimulants deployed. Forward to victory. A task unfinished is a prayer unanswered. We shall be remembered in the book of honor. Vigilance, brothers. Always vigilance.